Hi everyone, in this video we will learn types of arguments in Python. We have 4 types in arguments. First 3 types will be covered in this video and 4th type will be covered in the next video. Before starts today's lecture, let us try to recall what have we covered in our last video. Can we pass results from function to outside? Can we exit from the function before reach the ending point of that function? What can be returned by return statement? Can we return multiple values at a time? All these are covered in detail. If you haven't watched that, please watch that. The link is given in the description box. And if you understand the previous video, it is easy to understand this video. After watching this video, you will gain the knowledge about formal arguments and actual arguments. Positional arguments with coding will be covered, and we will discuss keyword arguments along with coding. We cover default arguments along with coding and combined uses of arguments, like how to use positional and keyword arguments, or how to use non-default arguments and default arguments in a single statement, like that. Before starts types of the arguments concept, we must know 2 words. What is formal argument and what is actual argument. Observe this code. This is the function definition part. This is function calling statement. Generally, these are called parameters also. Sometimes we may use the word formal arguments for these parameters. These are the placeholders which are used to take the input for the functions, but interchangeably we may use the word formal arguments also for these parameters. And what is the actual values we are sending to this function at the time of the function calling statement? These are called actual arguments. Let me repeat. What are the actual values we are sending to the function at the time of the function calling statement? Those are called actual arguments. Now let us try to understand what are the types of the actual arguments we have, or simply types of arguments. In Python, arguments can be categorized into different types based on how they are passed to the function. We can pass actual arguments in different ways to the function. So depending on that way of the passing, we can categorize the actual arguments. Coming to the types of the arguments, we have 4 types in the actual arguments. First one is positional argument. Second one is keyword arguments. Third one, default arguments. And fourth one is variable length arguments. In this video, we are going to cover first 3 types of the arguments. Those are positional, keyword and default arguments. First one, positional arguments. The function assigns values to the parameters based on the order in which the arguments are provided. See this code. We have the function with the name subtraction, that is sub, and I want to print a minus b value in the function. So this is the function calling statement. Whenever you are calling the function, we need to pass the argument. Those are called actual arguments we covered just now. Now we are passing 2 values, 10 and 20. Here the order is very important. Position is very important. First position value will be assigned to the first position parameter, and second position argument value will be assigned to the second position formal argument or parameter. Okay, so finally 10 will be assigned to A and 20 will be assigned to B. This is how positional argument works. Here the important point you need to remember is the number of the arguments and position of the arguments must be matched. See, we have two arguments and we are passing two values. The number of the arguments in this example, that is 2. Order of the argument also must be matched. If we change the order, then that result may be changed. We may get unexpected result. And if you change the number of the arguments you passed, that raise an error, because in the function definition you have 2 parameters but you are passing 3 arguments. In such cases it raises an error. Let me show it practically. See the code. Define display. My function name is display and we have 2 formal arguments or 2 parameters, name, age, and within the body of this display function I want to print like hello, after that name. I want to print age here, years old. Here I am using f-string concept. Already we covered f-string concept. If you haven't watched that, go through the playlist. Now coming to the function calling statement, 9th statement. Function name is display and first argument is Ramu, second argument is 25. So Ramu is the first argument, will be stored in the first formal argument, that is name, and 25 actual argument that will be stored in the second argument, second parameter, that is age. If you execute this, you will get the output, hello Ramu, you are 25 years old, right? Because we passed Ramu to the name, 25 to age. Hello, in place of the name, the argument value of the name, that is Ramu, will be printed. Hello Ramu. After that, you are, in place of the age, the argument value we passed 25. So that will be printed. You are 25 years old. Clear? Now, for example, if we change the order of the argument, 9th statement, I am making it as a comment line. Observe the 10th statement. Display 25, Ramu. Now I am not following the order as name and age. Okay. I am sending first argument as age, second argument as Ramu. Now observe. Now execute. See, output is hello 25. You are Ramu years old. It doesn't make sense. That's why the order is important here. If you change the order, you may not get the desired output. That is one more important point you must remember here. Now see one more case, the 11th statement. Here I am passing 3 arguments, but in the definition we defined 2 arguments only, 2 parameters only, right? If the number of the arguments are not matched, then it will raise an error. Run it. Now see, display function takes 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given. Second category is keyword arguments. These are the arguments passed with a key value pair, where the key is the parameter name. The order of the keyword arguments doesn't matter because Python assigns the value to the correct parameter using the name. So in this, we are using the parameter name while passing the values. That's why depending on the name, the argument values, the actual arguments values will be assigned. So if you change the order also, that doesn't give any effect. Number of actual arguments we are passing must be matched with number of formal arguments. Otherwise, it raises an error. See this example. Define display is the function name, name comma age, 2 are arguments, formal arguments, or you can say parameter. Same code. Just now we discussed, right? Now coming to the 9th statement, function calling statement. Age is 25. Now observe here. In the previous example, just we use the values, but here we are using values along with the parameter name. That is nothing but keyword here. We are using one key and value. What is the key? Age. Value of that key is 25. Like that you must understand. Age value is 25. That is the meaning of this. And the name argument value is Ramu. That is the meaning of the second one. If you write like this, even though the order is mismatched, that won't affect the code because it depends on the keywords. As we are using keywords here, 25 will be assigned to the age. Ramu will be assigned to the name. Hello Ramu, you are 25 years old. So if you change the order also, it can understand depending on key names. keyword names. Let me make 10th statement as uncomment. Now see, name assignment Ramu and age assignment 25. Now I changed the order. In the previous case, I used age, name, but in this case, I am using name and age. In this case also, we will get the same output. Observe the 11th statement now. Name assignment Ramu, age assignment 25. Sending third argument also. Here number of the arguments is not matched. If you run this, you will get an error like display got unexpected keyword argument salary. That's why the number of the arguments must be matched. So here you must remember the points. Even though if you change the order, it won't affect because we are using parameter names as a keyword in the function calling statement. But the number of the arguments must match. We can use both positional and keyword arguments in a single function calling statement also. But here the rule you must remember is, first we have to take positional arguments. Then we can use keyword arguments. If you change this order, that raises an error. See, we have the code like this. Define display name comma message, print hi name comma message. And function calling statement, we are passing two argument values, Ramu, good morning. So the output is Ramu will be stored in the name, good morning will be stored in the message. So print hi Ramu, good morning, right? Now in this case, Ramu is a positional argument, right? We are not using any key name. We are not using any parameter name. So it is a positional argument. And good morning also a positional arguments. So you must understand two arguments are positional arguments. This statement is valid statement. For example, if we write the code like where first argument is positional argument and the second argument is keyword argument, because we are using parameter name here, message. This is a keyword argument. If we write like that, that is also a valid. You must remember the order of the argument is positional argument first, then keyword argument. This is also valid. If you write keyword argument first, name assignment Ramu, here we are using parameter name here, right? So it is a keyword argument. Then if you write positional argument, it is an invalid statement. Please remember, keyword argument first, then positional argument next. If you follow this sequence, that becomes invalid statement, that raises an error. Here I am using two types of the arguments in the function calling statement. First one is positional argument. Second one is keyword argument. If you run this, you will get the output like, hello Ramu, you are 25 years old. Because Ramu is assigned to the name, and by using the keyword argument, age value we are assigning is 25. Okay. First one is positional, second one is keyword. For example, if I write like this, keyword argument first and positional argument next, then in such cases, it raises an error. See, positional argument cannot appear after keyword arguments. You must remember, positional argument cannot appear after keyword argument. You must write positional arguments first, then you can write keyword arguments. Clear, I hope. Third category is default arguments. Sometimes we can provide default values for the parameters in the function definition statement itself. Even though we are not passing actual argument values to that particular parameter, by default that parameter has some value. That type of the arguments are called default arguments. So these default arguments take that default value what we have in the function definition, if not provided during the function call. See this example for the better understanding. Observe the third statement, function definition statement. In this statement, we are assigning some value to the parameter. So this value is called default value. Whenever we are not providing value for the parameter name, by default it takes the value guessed. That is the meaning of this statement. After that, I want to print some text like hello, welcome and name. Generally, when you registered with any website, after login into that particular website, you may get the information in the home page like welcome space your name. Sometimes without registration also, some websites allowed to view some information. In such cases, those websites displays welcome space guest, right? So such type of the things I want to implement here. And the sixth statement, I am calling the function login display, but I am not passing any value. See, login display without any value. If you are not providing the values at the time of the function calling statement, those parameters have the values what we assigned in the function definition statement. So default value is guest. Execute it. Now see the output hello welcome guest, because we are not providing any name. For example, I registered with that website and I have given my name as Sravan Kumar. Now see the seventh statement, login display. I am passing the actual argument value is Sravan Kumar. In this case, the default value will not be used. Default value will be considered whenever you are not passing the actual argument value. But whenever you are passing the actual argument values, this only will be considered as a value of this parameter. In this case, that must print like hello welcome Sravan Kumar, right? This is the login case. See the output hello welcome Sravan Kumar. So here you must understand that if you are not passing the values in the function calling statement, the default value or values are used. If you providing the value in the function calling statement, that passing value only will be used. You must remember these points. One more important point, you cannot have a default argument followed by a non-default argument in the function definition. If you write like that, that will raise an error. I will explain it in detail this point. See, for example, I have a function message assignment hello. What is this? Default argument. Message is a parameter name. The default value of that parameter is hello. If you are not providing, right? Comma name and print message will be printed. The message value will be printed here, concatenated with comma plus the name will be printed. If you write the definition statement like this, that raises an error because name is non-default argument. It doesn't have any default value here, right? And a message is a default argument. See this? The correct way to define the function when if you want to use both default and non-default arguments is, you must write non-default arguments first, then you can write default arguments. This is the correct way. See this code in the function definition statement, third statement, I am using default arguments and non-default arguments. First one is non-default argument because it doesn't have any default value. Second argument is default argument, right? Because we are assigning some default value hello to the parameter message. So this is correct way as we covered just now. And at the time of the calling, I am passing the value Sravan Kumar for the parameter name is message hello will be printed here, comma name Sravan Kumar will be printed. Let me execute this. See the output hello Sravan Kumar. If I change the order like, first I want to write default argument, then I want to write non-default arguments. Now see, it raises an error. See now, non-default argument follows default arguments. Check your knowledge what we covered in this formal arguments and actual arguments, positional arguments with coding, keyword arguments with coding, default arguments with coding, and we have checked the different combinations of positional and keyword arguments and default and non-default arguments also. Remember the rules what we covered. If this video is useful to you, please do subscribe the channel, watch the videos, like and share the videos. Thank you.